Good morning, everyone. Everyone, please silence your cell phones. If you please turn to the front of your hymnal for the Unity Statement of Being. There is one presence and one power in this church, in our lives, and in the universe. God, the good, the omnipotent. In the five unity principles, number 1, God is absolute good, everywhere present. Number 2, God lives in us, therefore we are inherently good. Number 3, we are co-creators with God and create our experiences through our thoughts. Number 4, prayer is creative thinking that heightens our connection with God mind. Number 5, it is not enough to simply know these principles. We must live the truth now. And if you please stand and turn to page 2 in your hymnal for the Lord's Prayer.
invite you to get comfortable. Allow yourself to move inwards. Gently close the door. And take time out for divine you. Whatever you've been experiencing throughout this day, and throughout any day, has prepared you for this moment, where you are now connected and one with all that there is. And all that there is lives in you. And to greater and greater degrees, it is expressing in you, through you, and as you. So I invite you to explore this vast innermost region within yourself, within your mind, within your consciousness, within you. This innermost region has gone by many names, many labels. Kingdom, kingdom is but one name, one label. But this innermost region is within you. In this innermost region lies all the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, potential, abilities. Everything is right there within you. It is calling to you. It is inviting you to experience your oneness with it. Spend time with it and gain new understandings, new insights, new awakenings. To assist you in your journey. This innermost region has also been called the perfection. You are one with this perfection. So that at the extension of that oneness, you are perfect. Just as you are perfect. Not some future state. Right now. The only difference between that perfection and what you perceive is what you see about yourself, what you believe to be true. contemplate on that, as we experience these beautiful moments of tranquility prior to experiencing today's message, that the only difference between the perfection that always is, that lives within you, is your beliefs about yourself. As we explore this perfection, this kingdom, this universe that lives within, know that in truth, we are all connected. Know that in truth, all minds are joined. As we are creating a mastermind consciousness in the sanctuary, as we are experiencing the perfection that it lives within, know that it is my intent to bring forth a new message. A message that has not been expressed. A message that yearns for expression. In order to expose us to new ideas, new understandings, newfound appreciation for the inherent abilities, latent potentials as creators we possess. That is our inheritance, our divine inheritance. So I invite you to join me in that intention. Join me in intention as we manifest new realizations. How would you feel upon experiencing yourself from a new understanding? How would you feel upon being lifted up in a greater appreciation brought on by a new understanding? Would you be excited? Would you feel joy? I invite you to feel and experience that excitement and that joy right now. As you set the intentions for new realizations, feel the excitement and joy right now. Know that divine beings need only send forth desired intention and experience the emotions combined to create a power surge. And in that power surge are instructions for spirits on our desired destination. understanding, new realizations, new awakenings, epiphanies. And we feel the excitement and joy upon experiencing these new awakenings and epiphanies right now. These are the ingredients of creation and manifestation. Hold that intention with me, brothers and sisters. Know that where two or more gather together, everything becomes possible. Know that all intentions are answered. This mastermind consciousness, this greater intelligence that has been created from the beautiful minds that are in this sanctuary, that has been manifested, has answered. And it is already done. So I invite you to feel gratitude for that which is already done. Feel that gratitude for the abundance that's always expressing. It's constantly expressing in each and every moment. And right now we are creating, for lack of a better word, sails in order to take us to new heights on the winds of that abundance. Collecting that abundance that always exists. Manifesting it into our experience. We are so grateful. Thank you, Spirit, for answered attention. Thank you for the abundance that's always expressing itself. Always lifting us to new heights. Thank you for being the wind beneath our wings. We are so grateful. We feel this gratitude in the name and the loving nature of our source, of principle, of spirit. And so it is. Amen. Would everyone please take out your hymnals and turn them to page 322. And please stand. We will be singing, I am free, I am unlimited. I am free, I am unlimited. Page number 322. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Good. Good. We sound kind of lively out here. It's good. Good. You know, some Sundays we're not that lively. You know, so I'm really loving what I'm hearing right now. All right. So are we ready?
Ready? Yes.
All right. Here we go. The name of my talk is Reality of the Paradigm. Reality of the Paradigm. You know, all this month, we've been exploring higher ideas all this month. Starting with where I talked about the divine fountainhead. Talking about that super consciousness that lives within, that is constantly taking us to new heights as we are willingly going within to experience its transformational effects. If you didn't catch it, it was the first Sunday. And so then I expanded into Mother's Day, Sunday, where I touched on energy, to increase our understanding of energy and awareness of energy. We could thereby empower ourselves as far as making a choice as far as which energies we are to choose to engage in, understanding that these energies are going to have so many different effects. They're going to create and contribute to our experience. And so today, I'm talking about the way in which we see, the way in which we understand and process information, the way in which we navigate the world around us, the paradigms in which we maneuver in our minds and our consciousness. And so today's talk is about creating a greater understanding of the processes that take place. You know, because we take these things for granted. You see, we have this idea that the same world that we experience is the same world that everybody experiences. You know, we think that what we're experiencing is what everybody experiences. And see, that creates this complacency with us in that we don't attempt to change or don't attempt to experience greater heights of what we're experiencing, because we're thinking that we're powerless. We're thinking that, you know, this is something else that's contributing to our experience. We're not understanding that we are the ones that are creating here. You see, when we understand that we're the ones that are creating, you see, that creates a different understanding. See, that creates a different premise from which one sees oneself and a different premise from which one sees one's possibilities for creating the kind of life that one chooses for oneself. You see, the other idea that things are just simply happening, and this is what everybody's experiencing, see, that just creates complacency. Well, we're not doing anything at that point. We're just doing the best we can at that point. We're just trying to maneuver and navigate the best way we can for something that we're completely powerless. So let me just say this. So I'm going to have certain axioms, call it lessons or ways of understanding, that you can understand to actually, and these axioms are designed to really just crack the door. They're not designed to do anything other than crack the door. It's up to you whether you decide you want to go through this door or not, you see. It's up to you. These axioms of understanding are just going to put a crack there. That's it. So let me give you this first one, okay? Because the other 8 billion people in this world are not experiencing what you're experiencing. Let that just sit in your mind for a moment. Let this first axiom sit in your mind for a moment. The other 8 billion people in this world are not experiencing what you're experiencing. So just reflect on that a little bit. as I go into the best way that I can describe a paradigm to minds that believe that they are separate. So, we discuss beliefs. We discuss affirmations. The Fillmores taught affirmations. And see, affirmations are designed to make our lives better or more user-friendly. You know, when we have identified a belief, and let me just create a foundational understanding of belief. A belief is something that we believe is true. This belief doesn't have to be true, but it's something that the mind believes is true. This is very important to understand because I'm going to tell you how these beliefs actually work together. Because before we get to paradigm, we have to talk about that. Before you get to a body, we have to talk about the cells that make up that body. So before we get to a paradigm, which is like thousands of beliefs working together in concert, we have to understand the whole understanding, foundational understanding of a belief. Okay? So the mind believes that this is true. Whatever it is, it's true. It is true. If the mind did not think that it was true, the mind would disregard it as false. Okay? It would have no power over the mind whatsoever because it already disregarded it as false. So anything that is false, that the mind has already determined to be false, has no power to the mind whatsoever. And so the mind does not have to navigate around things that are false, around things that it knows. Let me say this again, around things that it knows to be false. Okay? Because if it does not know that it's false, if it believes it is true, then the mind will have to navigate around it. Why? Because it believes that it is true. And so these things that the mind believes is true is like a brick wall, or even more like a diamond or something. It's unbreakable. It can't be broken. The only thing that can actually change it is a mind that's willing to change it. The mind has to be willing. The mind has to be open. Other than that, the mind is going to still continue to treat this whatever it is as this immovable structure that it has to maneuver around. Now, all these structures basically all form like this environment, this glove in which this mind now must navigate. It now must navigate. And so there's so many different ideas that the mind has, and so it has false ideas about itself. And as a matter of fact, the majority of the ideas that it has about itself, because it is usually externally oriented, are false. They are false. So the mind is now navigating around things that are really false, but the mind believes that it is true. So it creates this obstacle course for the mind. And now we're getting into the world of a paradigm. And so this mind now has to maneuver in this paradigm. Everybody with me so far? Okay. So, now, yes, there are other minds as well. Okay, but right now I'm just talking about from the state of one mind. Okay, now, all minds in truth are really joined. And again, I am explaining this to minds that believe that it is separate. So I have to explain it in such a way so that minds don't get offended. And so that's all. I'm not going to get into the whole that there's really only one mind. I'm not even going to say that. Okay? But I'm just going to basically say that individual minds all still have a super consciousness within them. Okay? And this super consciousness is like our right mind. It is like our God mind. It is like the mind that is connected or is one with spirit. Okay? And this super consciousness is constantly, how do I want to put this? Collaborating. Okay? Now these minds can expose themselves to the super consciousness if they are going within. But this super consciousness is already active in what these minds are as far as in their connections. And when there's like healing opportunities and things like that. So let's say you have a mind, for example, that doesn't believe that it is enough. All right? It doesn't believe that it's enough. All right? This mind, the other minds that are also connected, they are going to basically support this mind in what it believes. They are not going to go against this mind and what it believes. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the individual consciousness, the conscious awareness is not necessarily going to be aware of this, though. It's not going to be aware of this at all. Okay? More than likely, it's not going to be aware of this unless it also needs to heal from the same thing. And so it will see or witness something that's already present within itself. So, this is a complicated thing to explain. This is a very complicated thing to explain, but this happens every day. Every day. And so we get caught into entanglements with other minds, relationships with other minds. And some of these entanglements, it's like this divine opportunity to heal. And it's a divine opportunity that was actually staged by the superconsciousness. Okay? Because the superconsciousness is going to use everything that the minds already possess to bring forth the highest good. The superconsciousness is going to love the minds, period. It's going to love the minds completely and totally and wholly. But at the same time, the superconsciousness has a remedy, a highest remedy for the mind. And that includes the mind interacting with other minds that are going through comparable things, so that the two minds can then heal. But I didn't say I was going to get into the whole relationship, but I just wanted to tell you about a paradigm. Because this paradigm is how we maneuver. But see, if we're just thinking that we're just maneuvering and there's no other minds, I had to basically create an understanding that there's other minds that are still present. There's other minds, and yes, we see them as people. But these minds are really interacting with their own consciousness. They're really interacting with their own understanding about themselves. Okay? So, and these minds believe that they're really interacting. Yes, they are creating this form of physical communication, but each mind is really interacting with its own consciousness. Now, in truth, there's really only one consciousness, and there's individual access points within these consciousnesses that think that they are this and they are that, and these are individual I am consciousnesses, or individuals that believe that they are this. But in truth, we are really one. In truth, there's the only thing that really exists is oneness. And it is in this oneness is still individualized in separate forms of consciousness that are expressing themselves as you and I. But we are all one, people. Regardless of how you see yourself, we're all one. So, I told you about that first axiom. But in the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 2, our brother Paul said, do not be conformed to this world, because I'm going to tell you about the second axiom. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may be able to discern the will of Spirit, what is good, what is acceptable, what is perfect. You see, people in first century Rome were going through the same things that we go through today. They were experiencing the same things. So the next axiom I'm going to tell you, see, the reason why I'm giving you these axioms, the first axiom was to give you an understanding that you're really the one that's creating your own world. This next axiom that I'm going to give you, that's talking about the status quo, and that's basically what he was talking about. Do not conform to the status quo. Status quo understanding, do not conform to the values and ideas of the world of status quo understanding. You see, because status quo understanding is rooted in externalism and materialism. Okay? It is rooted in externalism and materialism, and you are not going to find your true self there in externalism and materialism. Period. Now, you will find your true self in things like humanism, spiritualism, things like that. Where you actually where you actually have the understanding that people are more valuable than things. People are more valuable than ideas. People are more valuable than borders. We have this whole thing about borders and immigrants and immigration, things like that. People are more valuable than borders. See, when you begin to really move away from externalism and materialism, these understandings become clear as day. Clear as day. You don't have a question. What's the most important thing? You don't have a question about the importance of people. But when you're rooted in externalism and materialism, no, you're not going to see it. It's going to go right over your head all the way. It can be right there staring your face, and you will not see it. You will not see it. It is a world that will be completely hidden from you. Completely hidden from you. So these two actions, so in other words, what I'm trying to say is, if it is status quo related, and status quo is nothing but a consensus-based, let me just put it for the record, status quo is nothing but a consensus-based understanding that is rooted in externalism and materialism. Okay? So whatever the status quo tells you, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's about 95% wrong in everything. Okay? 95% false in everything. So really, if you really want to know what the way to go, even if you're not meditating, just ask yourself what status quo tells you. And then I would invite you to do something different. Because status quo does not know what it's talking about. It never did. It teaches you to worship things. Status quo knows nothing. It knows absolutely nothing. It is not a teacher. I mean, it's not an enlightened teacher. It'll teach you. It'll definitely teach you. So, this is a month of change. So I don't know if you feel it. But you've been getting some messages, that have had teaching at the highest level, whether you realize it or not. So I would invite you to really explore, and all these messages are all telling you to go right to you. Because see, let me tell you this. You will not be able to get out of these prisons of this paradigm that we've created for ourselves, where we have all these false beliefs and things like that. Why? Because we believe that it's true. Unless we are going within and exposing ourselves to the supreme intelligence of the superconscious mind that is always there. And that superconscious mind will give you new understandings that will help break you free of these limiting ideas that are created in this paradigm that has been constructed by your beliefs, which the majority of them are false. The majority of them are false. So the only way to free yourself, truly free yourself, and really begin to see things in a new way, or you begin to then, once you see things in a new way, then you begin to experience things in a new way. And as you begin to experience things in a new way, your beliefs will begin to shift and change, because you will realize the false nature is that's if you expose yourself to the superconsciousness. Constant exposure to the superconsciousness. Now, on the good side, I did a little research, and people are meditating more than ever before now. They said about 15%, as a matter of fact, of the U.S. population is meditating between 30 and 60 minutes a day. I was like, wow, that's pretty good. Now, still, anybody that's meditating an hour or more, it's 1%. That's the global population. Of people that are meditating an hour or more per day, 1%. But that's still enough to hold the line, though. You see? That's still enough to, remember I said, it only takes 1%. It only takes 1%. That's all it takes. As far as it takes 1% of a higher energy, to hold the line, as far as all of the lower energies for people that aren't meditating and things like that are basically kind of dragging that status quo consciousness down. But it only takes a 1% to kind of keep it steady. But I say all that because something, we're all being called to expose ourselves to that super consciousness. Every single one of us is being called to expose ourselves to greater degrees to that super consciousness. And I'm not telling you what to go to that super consciousness with. You know what to go to that super consciousness with. That super consciousness expresses in, through, and as you. The thing is, when you're judging and things like that, when you're out in externalism, and you're not realizing it's really expressing in, through, and as you, until you're judging, you're just not seeing it. You're just not seeing it. But as you begin to expose yourself in greater degrees to the super consciousness that's always there, available to you, you will start judging a lot less. Because you'll start being made known, you'll start being made privy to greater degrees of information, greater degrees of wisdom and understanding. Gradually over time, things begin to come to you, and you don't have any business knowing this. If you continue to expose yourself to the superconsciousness that's already there within you, eventually you begin to learn and know things that you have no business knowing. Because you didn't look it up on anything, you didn't research it, you didn't do anything, but yet somehow now you know it. It's only through continual exposure to the superconsciousness that is right there within you. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to go anywhere. It's right there within you that those walls and prisons that we've erected in these false ideas about ourselves, in this paradigm that we're maneuvering, where it will begin to break us free from these prisons. Only through constant exposure. Not only constant exposure, but not only will constant exposure do that, but it will also reveal new abilities for you. New things. It's like, how did you learn how to do this? How did you learn how to do that? All of a sudden you will find that you can do. I don't know what cup is going to begin to fill first with you. I have no idea. Our cups begin to fill. They're different for each of us. But make no mistake, as we all continue to spend time with that superconscious mind, we all get stronger as we go along. So then, you will be able to do this or that. Like I said, Paul talked about all these gifts of the Spirit. He wasn't making that up. These gifts of the Spirit are real. But then that's just going to be handed out to just anybody, people that aren't doing the work. No. But there is a kingdom that is within you, a kingdom filled with riches that is right there within you. It is filled with riches. Beyond anything that you've ever experienced in the external. Anything that you've ever experienced in materialism. There's a kingdom of riches that transcends everything right there within you. Everybody with me so far? Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to give everybody affirmation today. Okay. Everybody repeat after me. This is a long one. I affirm that I am a limitless creator that is creating my world and my experiences. I accept my inheritance. All people are my people. And I am willing to create a new world that loves my people exactly as they are. Brothers and sisters, you go and be that light that your Father and Mother God intended for you to be. Thank you.
Time for our tithes and offerings. And the abundance blessing. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. In the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit, it is so now.
So before we start with the announcements, I wanted to speak to the community. Everybody know Glenn? Who does the donuts, Mr. Glenn? Yeah. Okay. Well, Mr. Glenn needs some help. And so, his car is not working anymore. You remember that Bill Cadillac? Okay, all right. So I reached out, started speaking to some of the church leaders, and so we'd like to do a community fundraiser for helping Mr. Glenn get a new car. And we'd like everybody to contribute in either, as far as if you have any funds, or if you know someone, or even if you have a spare car, that you just don't need anymore, how are you going to do it? Now, the Lattimores have graciously contributed $1,000, and I'm also contributing $500 of my money as well, so right now we're starting off at $1,500 right now. So, just whatever you feel as far as your heart, but he's given this church 10 years. 10 years. Okay? He's been there every Sunday. Except for times when he had problems with his car. Okay? So, that's what community is about. We look out for our people. All right. That's it.
Electronic giving is at the front desk in the lobby. You can scan the QR code. Copies of today's service are available on CD at the front desk. Please subscribe to us on YouTube and like us on Facebook. Next Sunday, May the 25th, licensed Unity teacher Monique Gonzalez will be facilitating our Sunday message. See Thursday's newsletter for more details. And then also next Saturday, May 24th, from 3 to 5, Jack Fontana will be facilitating a breath workshop class in the family room. See Thursday's newsletter for more details. In 2 months, spiritual education and enrichment classes will begin again. The class will be a course entitled Meditation Practices. This 3-Saturday class will be taught on Saturday, July 12th, Saturday, July 26th, and Saturday, August 2nd. You must pre-register to attend this class. Also, details will be in the newsletter. If you are not signed up for the newsletter and would like to be, at the front desk, you can scan the QR code to sign up electronically or fill out a card. Are there any new visitors today? Hi. Would you like to say hello?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for welcoming and I feel very included. That's what I was looking for, so I really appreciate it.
We're glad you're here. If you'd like to meet Reverend Fleming at the end of the service, he'll be up front. Prayer chaplains are available after the service. Our chaplains will participate with you in prayer in total confidentiality. They will be here in the front of the altar. Please honor the sacred space in the sanctuary and reserve any after-service conversations for and fellowship for the lobby or the family room. And my name is Kristen. I do my service here at the church is this platform speaking. I coordinate some of the special events and luncheons, and I'm also the wellness liaison for the church. If anyone else is interested in sacred service and being more involved in the community, that would be wonderful. You can see me or Reverend Fleming after the service. And now our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. The Lord watches between me and thee, while we are absent one from the other, and helps us to know we are all one in spirit through our Lord Jesus Christ. And if anyone